This runs everything. Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here. Welcome to day 121 of our Supersize You annual challenge. Today we are switching gears and going to a new area of the 9-part life framework that we're covering this year as part of this year's annual challenge. Physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, relationships, contribution, communication, financial, I might not have said that one, and confidence. Anyway, there's 9. And we spend 1 month focusing in on each of these areas and aspects of our life. This month, we're focusing on mental health and well-being. First and foremost, what I like to do to start a new month and to start a new topic is ask you, what does mental health and well-being mean to you? What does mental health and well-being look like to you? What does mental health and well-being feel like to you? Because that's what matters the most. Once you know your definition, you can take a look at it and you can say, okay, well, this is serving me and helping me feel better and stronger and more alive, alert, and enthusiastic. This thought and belief is maybe not serving me very well. And we're going to dig deep into those things this month. But first and foremost today, we're going to talk about, and you're going to define and share in the comments below, your definition of mental health and well-being. Maybe it's a certain amount of time that you spend in different activities. Maybe it's how you react or respond to things. Maybe it's whether you're on antidepressants or not. Maybe it's whatever you define it to be. Mental health and well-being, it's an area that it actually runs absolutely everything. Everything in our life runs off of our emotions too, but our thoughts, our thinking. Scientists and whoever say we have like 80,000 thoughts a day. The challenge is with most of us, 80% of those 80,000 thoughts are negative, or they're just keeping us stuck where we are right now, and they're not moving us toward what it is that we want. And this challenge is all about moving you to the better version of yourself, to the best possible version of yourself, and the continually improving version of yourself. Why? Because I think that's all of our underlying purpose. Maybe I spent probably a couple decades trying to figure out, and feeling bad that I didn't have some overwhelming talent, like musical or artistic or something that I could build upon or stand out for. And then I realized maybe my talent is just gabbing and talking and sharing what works for me and for other people with other people so that they can learn and shortcut the process of trial and error. I'm a huge trial and error learner, which I'll tell you is the longest, hardest, most expensive way to learn everything and anything. If I have to learn everything myself by firstly experiencing it, well, number one, it's not possible. We can't experience everything here on the planet, so we have to pick and choose based on our priorities what makes sense for us. So May is mental month. The guys call it mental May. I don't know if that's a good name, but it makes me smile. So we are focusing on sharpening our mind and mastering our thoughts this month. That is the overarching theme of this month's activity. And today, I want you to just define, what does mental health and well-being look like for me? What does it include? So think about learning, focus. What type of a learner are you? We'll talk about that. Focus, clarity, emotional regulation. Now, there's a sentence that I never thought would come out of my mouth. I never even knew before I came on the school platform that we needed to regulate our nervous system, that we even could pay attention to and tap into our nervous system. So it's been a very enlightening and awe-inspiring journey for me so far. Guess what? I'm just getting started. How do we make decisions? Our mental capacity, our inflows, our outflows, the impact of our thoughts on emotions. We're going to talk about all of this in depth. And I want you to just start getting in your mind, well, where am I at with this? Because I know a lot of people that never even think about their thinking or think for themselves, which is, I'm sure we'll spend the whole day on talking about thinking for ourselves, and thinking for yourself and thinking for myself, because it's so easy to get caught up in the loops of, I'm going to say, pessimism and propaganda that if we're not careful what our inputs are and what we're feeding our brain and our thoughts, we can get sucked into paths and trails and misadventures instead of adventures without hardly even being consciously aware of it. So maybe some questions to ask yourself today as you're defining mental health and well-being for you would be things like, how are my thoughts and the way I think naturally impacting the results that I'm getting? And if I were to slightly tweak or alter any of that, what kind of an impact would it have on my life? What kind of an impact would it have on my next month? What kind of impact would it have on my next 5 years? That's the kind of transformation and change we're looking for in here and as part of this challenge. What actually could be possible if we harness even a small fraction of our thought capacity and our ability to think for ourselves? It's limitless, just so you know. And then what mental health practices do I know I could and should be doing, or I've wanted to try but haven't yet? What are some of those things that you'd like to explore this month? Share in the comments below so we can learn from one another. That's pretty much it today. I just want to introduce the thought about our thoughts controlling and influencing absolutely everything that's in our life already and that we want to have in our life. And we're going to learn how to harness the power of those thoughts and make sure that everything works out in our favor. All right, any questions about this? Hit me up and ask. Otherwise, share your definition of mental health. I don't care what anybody else thinks mental health is. What is mental health and well-being to you and for you? Share in the comments below. If I can help in any way, ask. Otherwise, I will, of course, be with you tomorrow.